Hey, are you having trouble setting up your Cambly Kids schedule? I know that I did when I first started. Well, in this video, I'm going to share all of my tips and tricks that I use to set up my weekly schedule for Cambly Kids. But first, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Celeste, and on my channel, I love to talk about my life as a wifepreneur. And so today, we're going to talk about one of those entrepreneurial pursuits, which is teaching ESL online. So if you like that, I hope that you'll subscribe and click that notification bell so that you are notified of other videos I upload every single week, typically on Saturdays. So you've been hired as a Cambly Kids tutor and you're trying to figure out the scheduling. If you're like me, when I first began with online ESL teaching, the companies that were based in China did that for me, and they always allowed for a 5-minute break between classes, which is very helpful to have that kind of, time to kind of revamp and rethink the next class. But with Cambly Kids, there are some differences than other online ESL platforms. So last week I shared about how I build my client base. If you did not see that video, click that iCard above. And today we're going to jump onto the Cambly Kids website and you are going to plan my schedule with me. So, without further ado, let's jump onto the Cambly Kids website and see how I plan and answer those questions that you're having about your schedule.
Okay, so we are on the Reservations tab. I have pulled up next week, October 3rd through the 9th, and we're going to plan my schedule. What we need to do is go over here to the left-hand side of the screen. You will see My Reservation Availability. We need to click the Edit button. So we're going to click that, and you will see this screen. It pulls up this week, but we're going to go to next week and plan my schedule. Now currently I am in the Eastern time zone and I teach with Q Kids until 9 o'clock. What I try to do is give myself a little bit of a buffer time between Q Kids and Cambly Kids so that if my 9 o'clock student or my 8:30 to 9 a.m. student may go over maybe for a few seconds or a minute or two asking me a question, I will have time to respond to them without having just to quickly exit that classroom. It also gives me the ability to go get some more water, take a bathroom break, stretch my legs, gather my props for my Cambly Kids classes. So I generally start my classes at 9:15 on the days that I plan to work for Cambly. As I indicated before in last week's video, I do care for my elderly mother, so my schedule may change from week to week based on her needs and her doctor's appointments. So we're going to go down to the very bottom. You will see Add Availability For, and this is a drop-down menu. Anyone, if you click that, it means that anyone from the adult side, also the Cambly Kids side, your regular students, your students that are not regulars or new students can book a class during that time slot. If you choose only regulars, that means only the students that you have clicked that little button on will be able to book during that time. The same for Cambly Kids. If you click this, that means that you only want Cambly Kids, whether they be for anybody in Cambly Kids, as well as down here Cambly Adults means only adults can book during that time. So this is how I set my schedule so that I'm in control of the times, and I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to click regulars only, and I'm going to go up and go on to Monday because I don't teach on Sunday. That is our family day. And I'm going to do a 30-minute time slot. As you can see, notice the color, it's kind of a light mauve pinkish color. And I'm going to choose 9:15 to 9:45 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday I'm unable to teach this particular week due to appointments. And I'm trying to stay away from Saturdays. Sometimes I do that, but this next week I'm not going to. Now I'm going to come down to the drop-down menu and click Cambly Kids Only. And I'm going to go back up and click from 9:45 to 10:15 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, what this shows up for the student is that only those students that I have clicked for regulars can book during this time. Those students that are not chosen as one of my regulars, they will only see the purple here. This allows me to get 2 classes, the potential of 2 classes, during this 1 hour time slot. Prior to about a month ago when I wasn't doing this, I was always getting a student who would start the class from 9:30 and end at 10. Well, then I still have 30 minutes, 15 minutes prior to the class and 15 minutes after the class that I was losing money on. So I have changed to this format. Now, if one of my Cambly Kids clicks the 9:45 to 10:15, then I will come back and edit this time 9:15 to 9:45 and make it Cambly Kids only rather than for my regulars, and that will allow other students to book during that time. So after 6 classes, 4 classes on Q Kids and 2 classes with Cambly Kids, I take a little bit of a break. And so this particular week I am going to try something new. So I'm going to go to the 10:45. I'm going to do Cambly Kids only to allow any Cambly Kid to book during that time. So I'm going to do actually 10:45 to 11:15 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then I'm going to switch to regulars only so that I'm in control of my schedule and have the potential of earning more by having more classes. Okay, after this I'm going to take a lunch break and I'm going to come back at 1 o'clock to teach the afternoon on Monday and Wednesdays only for next week. So I'm going to try my regulars only. I think I have a couple of regulars that will choose this time. Then I'm going to do Cambly Kids only afterwards. And then I am not going to teach after 2 p.m. Eastern time next week on Monday and Wednesday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have some previous engagements, appointments that I have, so I'm not able to do that particular time. So I'm going to try this schedule here. Once I've finished, then I will click Done. And as you can see, my schedule is set with my breaks and the way that I want it. Now again, let me go over this from 10:45 to 11:15. If one of my Cambly Kids books that, I will go back and edit this time by going here to Edit, and then I can change the time following to Cambly Kids only. This has been really effective in me controlling my classes and me maximizing the potential classes that I have. Now, anytime that a student tries to reserve a spot, since you've already clicked this, it's automatically assumed that you're going to be there. So you do still have to accept or deny them, but it is the assumption that since you've already indicated that you are going to be there. There are rare exceptions that I will deny, maybe because my schedule has changed or they have just notified me just like 10 minutes before the class, and I'm not going to do that. So that is how I book my schedule. I hope that is helpful to you. Give that a try, and that way you can force your schedule and maximize more of your classes. I will say, like the day before, let's go back to this week. You can see that I have a time slot there. It's for regulars only and no one has booked that class. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Edit and I'm going to go down to this time period. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to do Cambly Kids only because someone has already booked the 4 to 4:30 class. So I'm going to try to pick up a class from 4:30 to 5 with any Cambly Kids student. Now, sometimes you will get someone that books 24 hours in advance. You can choose what you want your minimum notice to be. You can choose the 6 hours, You can choose 12 or 24. I used to do 24 hours, but now that I'm more familiar and comfortable with Cambly Kids, I do 12 hours. I don't do the 6 hours. I may change that in the future, but currently I don't do that. So you can go back in and change when you want to.
That's how I plan every single week. I hope that was helpful to you. I am such a visual learner that it helps me to see how it's all put together. If so, please give me a thumbs up to let me know this was helpful to you. I would greatly appreciate it. If you do still have questions, please reach out. I have my email address in the description box. I do check those every day, as well as you can comment below and ask me further questions. I'll be glad to help you. If you have interest in becoming a Cambly tutor or a Cambly Kids tutor, and you'd have not used a referral code, I've listed that below in the description box. I would greatly appreciate that. That is one way that Cambly just kind of gives us an attaboy to those of us who have helped someone through the process. If you're having difficulty or don't know even where to start to become a Cambly's tutor, I have listed that in a previous video up in the iCards. Check that out. And if you still have questions, feel free to reach out. I want to be here to help you. I know that a lot of us are in the same boat, and so I don't mind sharing information that I have with you so that you can start this process. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Happy teaching.